Well, hello, welcome to your integrative nutrition. My name is Haley Hobson, and I have been getting so many questions over the last couple of months about my holistic health and my practices and where I learned everything that I learned. So I wanted to feed your brain some information one bite at a time today. My name is Haley Hobson, and I wanted to give you an introduction of basically who I am and where I came from. I was an attorney, believe it or not, bankruptcy attorney, corporate bankruptcy attorney, turned Pilates and yoga teacher, turned teacher trainer, turned holistic wealth coach, certified, board certified health coach, life coach, and business entrepreneur. And I went through about 5 years of practicing law before I decided that, well, that practice was not for me anymore. And I wanted to do something with my life that I felt passionate about. I was really passionate about my body and the way it felt, feeling amazing, coming from a history of lots of different problems, which I'll get into in a few minutes. And I decided to walk along the path towards wellness and discover the solutions that would bring me to a place of emotional and physical balance. So I'm happy to be here with you today. I'm going to teach you a few things in this masterclass that I know you're going to walk away with feeling very empowered. Number one, how to choose your own food so that you can take control of your health one bite at a time. Number two, why food is actually fuel and how the way that you feel completely depends on what you put in your mouth and how to embark on your own journey towards better health. So again, welcome again, and let's talk about throwing away our old beliefs and that old food pyramid. Let's talk about how you can make better food choices in this fast-paced, drive-through, microwavable world that we live in. Now, I will admit that several years ago, I got massively sick and I had to actually feed myself back to health because I was not interested in the pharmaceutical ways that the doctors in the Western world wanted to, quote unquote, heal my body. And I knew that food was nutrition from everything that I had learned through my education with Institute of Integrative Nutrition, which is where I chose to go through my health coaching education. And I went through a period where I was raw food diet for about 6 months. And I'll tell you, it was a full-time job. I'm not kidding you. Food preparing, shopping, grinding, chopping, dehydrating, all of the above. And you know, let's face it, we are living in a very fast-paced industrial world with lots of benefits that our world is this fast-paced. We have education and information at our fingertips. However, it's not as easy to get food that will operate as fuel in your body, and that's what we need. So we do need to go back to basics, but we also have to remember that the basics that we learned before are not really something that I would recommend to you. Our old food pyramid is outdated, and it's a resource that is not really working anymore. In fact, it's not supposed to work for everyone because not every body fits into the same body or same category. And since my health class days, I have learned even more about food. And I do know that we don't need as much animal protein as we used to think we needed. We can sustain with tons of really awesome whole grains and leafy vegetables and healthy fats such as avocados and nuts and complex carbohydrates like I spoke about, like brown rices and quinoas and sweet potatoes. So there's all different types of body types. Everybody needs something different according to the type of their body, their blood type, etc. But what I will say is that what I used to eat when I was growing up, what I was taught to eat when I was growing up, is definitely not the way that I want to feed myself today. And I believe that a huge source of why I felt like I felt during that crazy part of my life, which I'm going to get into in a second, was unfortunately based on wrong or incorrect food information. The second thing that I want to talk to you about is our brain-gut connection. Now, I didn't necessarily learn that in class, but I do know that this is our second brain. And it's where everything we eat affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It's very interesting. If you were to do a gut biopsy, like scrape the lining of your gut, your intestines, you can actually tell what's going on in your brain neurochemically. I kid you not. So when you're feeding your gut full of artificial sweeteners, high fructose corn syrup, genetically modified corns and wheats, your brain is going to feel sluggish and tired and ornery. And I'm sure you've experienced something like this. And maybe you're even feeling that way right now. So if you're interested in your body feeling a lot better, I would consider spending a little bit more time on the nutrition that you're giving it. Your brain is working very hard at a very low capacity sometimes because of the nutrition that you're giving it. And even sometimes the cravings that we're having in our brain are also related. I shouldn't say sometimes, I should say all the time. The cravings that we're having in our brains are related to the types of foods that we're literally feeding ourselves. And you know, in terms of the food is fuel explanation, remember that food is, I mean, it has to be used for your enjoyment and fun, but it also is a necessity. It's a necessity in how our engine, right, our body operates. So your food, the food that you're eating, impacts your life in so many different ways. Did you know it affects your energy levels? Did you know it actually affects the quality of your sleep? Even the hydration in your body? I talked about the mental clarity already. How about your emotions? Did you know that what you put in your mouth actually affects your emotions? And whether you feel comfortable or balanced, it even regulates your stress levels. Having a balanced whole food diet will provide the essential nutrients. Well, I should say almost all of the essential nutrients. I do believe in additional supplementation to feed the gut, cleanse the gut, and feed the brain as well. But when I guess I'll say a balanced whole food diet means to me food and nutrients that are supplemented into our mouth, into our body. But when we have this whole food diet based on real food and supplementation, our body will be able to function at a much higher peaked level. And with proper nutrition, we can increase our energy for daily exercise. We can actually rest for more than 6, hopefully up to 8 hours a night, which is really necessary for our cortisol levels, and the way that our brain can rest at night, and our stress levels. It will help decrease our stress levels and support the overall function of our body systems while decreasing the overall stress levels. So yeah, food plays an important role. So let me back up and explain for a second. I told you I'd talk to you a little bit about my own medical history. And so what you need to know about me is that I decided to make some major changes about 7 to 8 years ago in my life. I really had no choice. I woke up one day and was so incredibly sick, and it lasted for weeks through the winter break, Christmas holidays, New Year's. And at that time, doctor's offices are closed. I wasn't getting in to see anybody. I was just constantly vomiting up everything that I was eating, including water. And when I finally got into doctor's offices and I was prescribed medications and I was given scans and tests, endoscopies, colonoscopies, x-rays, CAT scans, I wasn't really hearing any diagnosis that was calming me down. In fact, I almost wanted somebody to just say, Haley, you've got colitis. And then, okay, well, where's the pill I can take for that? Or what's the protocol I can take for that? But what happened instead is that they found inflammation from my esophagus all the way down to my colon. It's very interesting because in Western medication, we don't realize that inflammation is something you can't just give it a pill and it'll go away. So therefore, it's not necessarily a diagnosis. But what happens is it affects all the ways that all your organs are playing out with each other. It affects your brain. It affects your sleep. It affects your nervous system. It affects your hormone balance. It was affecting the way that my pancreas and my stomach and my intestines were working together to process my food. And I realized that in order to decrease the inflammation, it wasn't a pill that I could take. It was a lifestyle change that I needed to make. And I found this out really by doing a lot of my own research. I decided to take action myself, and I began to learn a lot, my friends. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to learn. And the more I actually became obsessed. And over that next year, I realized I was in complete control of my physical well-being. And a lot of it was contingent on how well my gut was and how well my brain was, how well I was feeling emotionally. You see, when I was a child, I was always pretty scrawny, never really felt too pretty. I was a massive introvert, totally insecure, and I never really knew who I was or who I wanted to be. And I ate like any other child with your pizza and McDonald's and pastas and kids' foods and probably a ton of sugar. And by the time I was 12 years old, I was experiencing massive digestive discomfort, otherwise known as irritable bowel syndrome. Ever hear of that? By the time I was a teenager, I found that whatever I ate literally gave me a stomach ache. Or was it what I was eating? I don't know. Who knows? Emotionally, physically, what we put in our mouth, what we put in our brain, what we put in our mind, we don't really know, but the two are so connected. And so here I was, now I'm graduated from high school. I've graduated from college. I had stopped eating red meat by 12. I had stopped eating dairy by 16. By the time I was in the 20s, I was told to steer away from all sugars, glutens. This is before anybody even knew what gluten was, by the way. Soy, corn, nuts. These are all called our allergens, right? Caffeine, and the list goes on. And I was miserable in college. And I never wanted to leave my room. I was always so bloated. I looked about 6 months pregnant all the time. Not to mention I was either nauseated or gassy. IBS is not a good look, by the way. And the cause of my symptoms, I don't know. I thought I was making progress, but not really. I still couldn't sleep. My immune system sucked. I was getting sick all the time, and I was a raging neurotic mess. And by the way, when you don't sleep, like at all, you're totally not happy. In fact, you're a biatch, right? And it's just really, it wasn't a fun time of my life. And I'd cut things out of my diet. I think I was making progress. I wasn't making progress. I still felt ill all this time. I was put on sleeping medication in my mid-20s. I was on sleeping medication for about 15 years so that I could literally sleep more than 2 hours in a row. And my normal doctors really, honestly, were no help at all. And I was fed up, and I was ready to figure out my gut and health, happiness, all on my own. Modern medicine had failed me, which was kind of a bummer because my dad was a doctor. And I'm not saying that modern medicine isn't a blessing. It definitely has its place. I'm so grateful. We should be so grateful for all the advances that we have made. But what I started to learn was that the whole picture matters. It's not just you washing your hands so that you're not contracting whatever pathogens are out there. It's not just you eating more leafy vegetables and then drinking 3 Diet Pepsis. It's not just making sure that you're exercising 3 to 4 days a week. It's not just the rest management that you try to build into your lifestyle. It's not just the release of the toxicity by replacing your skincare or your hair care or making better food choices or choosing to drive an electric car. It's not just tapping into your own spirituality. It's not just you spending time with your loved ones, friends, and family. It is the whole picture. It is the whole picture. So while modern medicine kept trying to put a Band-Aid on what I was coming up with, it didn't just have to do with that simple diagnosis to that common cold. I knew that what I needed to learn was more about the bigger picture and more about nutrition as a whole. So where did I go? I became super resourceful. Google became my best friend. And I started talking about what was wrong instead of hiding why I didn't feel well. And I learned that I wasn't alone. The more I learned, the more I wanted to learn. And I started making small changes. But those changes became significant. They were really helping. And then during my process, I came across the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And I knew at that moment, I was ready for nutrition school. I also realized that not only could I really learn about how my body could adapt to a different, healthier, more holistic lifestyle, but I realized at that moment, this is when I was switched from lawyer to Pilates teacher to yoga teacher, I realized I was actually ready for a new career. I knew based on my own experience, I could raise the bar and I could help others just like me. Now, when I went through this Institute of Integrative Nutrition, I began to expand my mind. And the more you surround yourself with those that have similar interests, you start hearing about these patterns or these interests everywhere. It's like your reticular activated system is working on overdrive, right? You're pregnant and all of a sudden everyone that you run into is pregnant, or everyone you see on the street is pregnant. You're thinking about shopping for a new car and everyone on the street all of a sudden is driving that car. For me, that's what it was like with nutrition school. Everywhere I looked, I was attracted to people who had been through the same program. I met a graduate. I read a testimonial. I was totally being sent signs from the universe that it was time to go to nutrition school and become a health coach. And that's what I decided to do. And I knew that I had to learn from the best. Now, in my studies, there were lots of people that went through the same school, and some of them were just simply interested in raising the bar with their own health and wellness. And some were also looking for a new career. It didn't matter. All our journeys began together, and it was like a light bulb had turned on in the room. And the next year of my life was literally life-changing. I kid you not. And not from the information that I was learning. I mean, it was awesome. And not just from the changes that I was making, which were, like I said, small but significant. But it was also from the contacts I met, the new business colleagues that I came across, the new future business partners that I met during my studies, professionals and entrepreneurs just like me. And I knew that I was in the right place, that I had found my home. And my gut, no pun intended, was trying to tell me something. I have such a different meaning that I attach to that word gut now. It's not just where our food is processed. It literally is that second brain. It's like the life and energy force of our body, and it's where we find our intuition. I am a full-on believer of manifestation, but we have to slow down and listen to what our bodies are telling us in order to make the right choices. So what's your body telling you? For me, I have seen massive changes. I feel so much lighter and softer and calmer. And if you're thinking, hey, what the hey, then you clearly didn't know me when I was on a full basket of nerves. I no longer use medication to fall asleep at night. And I lay in bed for less hours than I used to, but I sleep deeper than ever. And I wake up more energized and ready to go. And my thoughts are clearer. And I am so much more productive, which is so awesome to me. I get more shits done, my friends, and my moods are better, and my skin is brighter. And I no longer use the inhalers that I used to use to breathe while I'm exercising. I am so grateful for the education I received. And now the way that I'm able to give back to my body, which supports me. So you may be here because you're interested in learning more for your body as well. And you may be here because you too want to become a health coach. Maybe you think it will enhance the career or the business you already have. I've got news for you. If you're interested in health and wellness, it will. So I hope I can inspire you and share with you that it is in fact this easy. The Institute of Integrative Nutrition's course is jam-packed with information, education, training, and amazing teachers. And every day you will have aha moments and you'll feel excited about what you're learning, and all your pieces will come together in a way that allows you to educate at your finest and inspire other people and come from a place where you're really serving others. And the best part is that you can teach and train and inspire from the comfort of your own laptop if you want to. So I want to go through a couple of points of what you'll learn. Before I dive deep into the course, I want to share with you like how excited you're going to feel when you begin to learn as well. So this quest for knowledge and realizing there's so much out there was something that happened to me my very first week. And the resources were so unlimited. The community is incredibly supportive. And I had this aha moment, like one of my first weeks, like I'm going to be able to build an online business in the comfort of my own home with my own programs and help people across the globe. So whatever that program may be, whether you're teaching somebody to learn how to meditate or through an online yoga program or a health and nutrition program, or I run programs for my essential oil businesses, or if I want to do an online business training, I learned all of this in IIN. I learned all of this, not just the ins and outs of nutrition, not just how my body works and how it deserves to feel, not just the difference between health problems and health solutions. I learned how to be a teacher, and I learned how to be a leader, and I learned how to find and build a clientele, otherwise known as marketing, my friends. I had no idea that the connections that I made would then even lead me to my essential oil business and my book selling deals. I have a couple of books out there now, and helping me launch my podcast and literally the education and skills to build a global business. It all started at IIN. So how do you do this? Well, you're not going to be alone, that's for sure. You're going to have teachers and classmates that are supporting you every step of the way. And you'll find solutions to your own health concerns. And you'll learn how to identify your symptoms and how to fix them, or how to identify somebody else's symptoms and how to treat them. You will learn how to create a nutrition guide for yourself or others and help them, anybody who's been struggling with their health. Doesn't it sound amazing? Are you nodding your head and ready to take back your health like I was? Maybe even have a career in nutrition? Do you think IIN could be right for you too? Because if you're getting excited about any of the above, it probably is the right choice for you. And I always believe we find more success the more educated we become. And the more educated we become, the more of service we can be to others. So if you're interested in becoming a health coach or learning more about your own health, but don't know where to start, you definitely need to check out this program. So I ask you, are you ready to make an investment in you this year? Your gut needs your help. Your mind, your brain is ready to learn. You are passionate about your health and helping others if you're listening to me right now. And the Institute of Integrative Nutrition's course is an investment in you. And once you get your certificate of achievement, there are countless doors that will open for you. Career opportunities will happen, and you can start making a difference right away. There is so much you need to learn, and most people just aren't there yet. There's so much you can teach. There's so many people who need to hear from you. You know, it's very interesting during my whole process. Well, actually, I started playing with being a vegan before Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And when I went through the course, I realized like that was the lifestyle for me. Now, I'm not at all telling anybody how they should eat or what's right for their body, but some people have decided to try to be a vegan or a vegetarian since in the last 7 years that I've been coaching people. And I remember an incident just a few months ago with a friend of mine who decided after 3 days of trying to go vegan that it wasn't the diet for him. So we talked about what was he doing, and it wasn't enough calories, and all he was eating was salads. And it's very interesting. Most people really don't understand the caloric intake that your body needs to function and the amount of fat that your brain needs to function, and the bioavailability of the nutrition or the food that you're bringing into your body, and the micro and macronutrients that you need on a daily basis. So sure, if you're just trying to eat salads, my friend, there's no way you'll survive as a vegan because there's so much dense, nutrient-packed food that your body needs to function. Your body needs to strip away the inflammation, and that your brain needs to function. And it's so interesting because anytime I go away and I travel and I can't invest in my body the way that I want to, I'll put on weight, I'm retaining fluids, I can tell that my brain is a little fuzzier, I'm not as energetic, my muscles feel a little bit more sore, even if I'm not working out. And I come back and I ground down and I start eating the way that I know that my body needs to fuel. And within about 48 hours, 72 hours, I'm bouncing back to my highly energetic, happy self that's resting well and playing hard and working productively because I know how to treat it these days. Anyway, I hope that you want to learn about that too. So I want to read you a couple of testimonials because there's no way that thousands of graduates can be wrong. There's no other course really offered quite like this. So from Robert Mittman, attending the Institute of Integrative Nutrition was the best gift I could have given myself. From Andrea Scipione, IIN gives you an incredible community to be a part of. And who doesn't want that, right? From Jessica Mersha, after graduating from the program, I made the decision to leave my corporate accounting job to focus full-time on my health coaching practice. How awesome is that to feel that confident after going through this program? From Barbara Sinclair, I achieved a new career in health coaching at age 56 and felt like my life has just begun. Yeah, it's never too late. And the training that you will receive will help change generations of health and happiness. Not to mention, you can financially help yourself with this new career. Like, do you have an already existing holistic business or product? IIN's training can only add to your resume. So what makes it so incredible? Well, I personally was overjoyed when I found the Institute. The community, like I said, is insanely awesome. It was the perfect course for me, and I feel like it will be for you too, because they are licensed with the Department of Education. Most other health coaching schools are not, by the way. They have a diverse student body from all over the world. They have a very unique approach to holistic nutrition, which includes the study of over 100 dietary theories taught by leading experts in the health and wellness field. They use a flexible platform that allows you to fit study into your business, into your busy lifestyle. Many people ask me, Haley, I've got a full-time job and I have another business I'm running. Can I do this? I have a family. Absolutely. You're going to be investing just a few hours of work into your week every single week. And there's modules you can listen from your iPod or your phone as you're on the treadmill, or as you're in the bathtub, or as you're sitting in the airport. You can totally fit the study into your routine. You may have to get the Grey's Anatomy off of your schedule or Bachelor in Paradise, but that's okay. For 6 months to a year, you can make this work if you want to. And IIN also partners with other learning institutions to offer you college transfer credits and continuing education units towards your higher education. And their program focuses on business development, marketing, and turning your passion and knowledge into a profitable career. And this is what is so unique about the program, because so many programs will give you the education, but you don't know how to start your business. They don't give you the tools. They only give you the education. So when you have the marketing underneath of your belt and the business development, you spend 6 months on the education and 6 months with them holding your hand, helping you launch an entrepreneurial life. Well, for me, that was like the total no-brainer. So are you ready? Are you ready to take control of your life? Are you ready to join a community of over 100,000 students and graduates from 120 countries all over the world? Do you want to be part of this community? I did, and I still do. IIN's Health Coach Training Program is truly special because it breaks down the study of holistic nutrition theories. It fine-tunes your coaching skills. It teaches you business development, and you've got a flexible online platform that's easy for anyone to learn. And it's a complete investment in your health. So the next steps are you registering for the course. So I want to give you a little information about that. As a graduate, I can get you a super sweet deal off the cost of tuition. And there's rolling admission all the time. So check it out. You're not alone on your journey to better health. And if you register here, HaleyHobson.com/IIN, you get $1,000 off the tuition. Yeah, you heard me. $1,000 off the tuition price by simply using my link. And you can also try out a sample class, totally free, to decide if this is the right pathway to a better health for you. Check it out, HaleyHobson.com/IIN. Are you ready to take back your health and start a new, profitable career at the same time? Hells yeah, right? If you're interested in receiving more health and wellness tips, yummy essential oil recipes, entrepreneurial business strategies, head on over to HaleyHobson.com while you're checking out IIN and receive my weekly updates. I'll see you online.